Imagine being able to quietly rebuild the way your mind works, not by forcing change, but by understanding it. The brain is not a fixed machine. It is a living system constantly adapting through neuroplasticity. Every thought, reflection, and visualization becomes a small signal telling the brain who you are becoming. When practiced with awareness, these signals slowly reorganize attention, habits, and identity, opening space for clearer thinking, deeper focus, and a more intentional version of yourself. Most people try to change their lives from the outside first. They push harder, work longer, chase motivation. But the real shift begins internally, in the quiet place where thoughts are observed rather than obeyed. Self-reflection acts like a mirror for the mind. It reveals patterns, beliefs, and assumptions that normally run automatically. Once seen clearly, the brain gains a new option: to redesign those patterns intentionally and move toward a more focused and energized state today. Visualization is more than imagination. When you mentally rehearse a future action, the brain activates many of the same neural circuits used during real experience. In simple terms, the mind begins practicing reality before it arrives. Athletes, musicians, and high performers use this process constantly. By repeatedly picturing a calmer, clearer, more capable version of yourself, you send instructions to the brain about which connections should strengthen and which habits can quietly fade over time ahead naturally. Of course, visualization works best when combined with honest self-reflection. Reflection slows the mind enough to notice what is actually happening inside. Journaling, mindful breathing, or quiet observation of thoughts creates mental space. In that space, you begin recognizing the stories guiding your behavior. Some empower growth, others quietly limit possibility. Once awareness appears, the brain enters a powerful state of flexibility where new interpretations and healthier perspectives can begin forming and expanding with patience and curiosity. Neuroscience describes this adaptability as neuroplasticity, the brain's lifelong ability to reorganize itself. Each repeated thought slightly strengthens certain neural pathways while others weaken from lack of use. This means identity is less fixed than it feels. Through visualization, gratitude, and compassionate inner dialogue, you gradually teach the brain which emotional states to prioritize. Over time, the nervous system becomes more familiar with clarity, optimism, and focused attention, guiding daily perception and decisions with gentle consistency ahead. One helpful practice is morning visualization. Before the day begins, close your eyes and picture the kind of mind you want to carry through the hours ahead. See yourself responding calmly, thinking clearly, moving with quiet confidence. The brain does not perfectly distinguish between vivid imagination and lived experience. So these mental rehearsals prime neural circuits for the behaviors you want to express when real situations appear later during the day, guiding attention and choice more naturally. Self-reflection. Later in the day completes the cycle. Instead of judging yourself, simply review what happened with curiosity. Which moments felt aligned with your intentions? Where did old patterns appear? This gentle analysis strengthens awareness without creating stress. The brain learns faster when observation replaces criticism. Gradually, you become less reactive and more deliberate, able to adjust your mental direction with the same calm precision used by skilled navigators exploring inner landscapes with patience and clarity. Another powerful tool is cognitive reframing, the skill of consciously choosing a more useful interpretation of events. When the mind encounters challenge, it often predicts threat or limitation, but the brain can learn alternative meanings. A difficulty can become training. Uncertainty can become exploration. By visualizing constructive outcomes and reflecting on lessons, neural networks associated with resilience and creativity begin strengthening shaping perception toward opportunity, curiosity, and forward movement through deliberate mental practice over many small moments. Mindfulness supports this entire process. It trains attention to rest in the present moment, rather than wandering endlessly through worries or distractions. With practice, you begin noticing thoughts as temporary events instead of permanent truths. This small shift gives the brain remarkable freedom. Instead of reacting automatically, you gain the ability to choose where awareness goes, and that choice gradually shapes the architecture of your mental world, expanding clarity, patience, curiosity, and stable attention across daily experience. Gratitude also influences brain chemistry in subtle but meaningful ways. When attention regularly acknowledges what is working well, neural systems linked to reward and motivation become more active. This does not ignore challenges. It balances perception. The mind begins scanning the environment for possibility rather than only for problems. Over time, this shift creates a more energized mental baseline from which creativity and purposeful action naturally emerge, supporting focus, optimism, resilience, and long-term growth in life. Self-compassion strengthens the process even further. When mistakes happen, a harsh inner voice can trigger stress responses that narrow thinking. A supportive inner tone does the opposite. It keeps the brain calm enough to learn. Treating yourself with patience and respect allows reflection without fear. In that safer mental environment, new neural connections form more easily, supporting experimentation, growth, and a steady expansion of personal capability, confidence, curiosity, and adaptive thinking across changing life situations over time. At a deeper level, visualization begins shaping identity itself. The brain constantly predicts who you are based on repeated mental images and emotional patterns. When you consistently imagine yourself thinking clearly, acting intentionally, and staying present, those predictions start updating. The nervous system gradually treats that version of you as normal. What once required effort begins feeling natural, almost automatic, guiding choices, attention, posture, energy, and communication in daily interactions with growing confidence, clarity, and purpose ahead. Flow state often emerges from this alignment between intention, attention, and action. When the brain is clear about direction and free from unnecessary internal noise, performance becomes smoother and more creative. Visualization prepares the path, while reflection removes obstacles. Together, they guide the mind toward periods of deep focus, where time feels different and complex tasks unfold with surprising ease, supporting learning creativity, precision, and meaningful progress across work study, art sport, and daily challenges with presence. Journaling can accelerate this development. Writing thoughts onto paper slows thinking and makes hidden patterns visible. Ideas that once felt vague become clear sentences you can examine and reshape. Many high performers use journals as laboratories for the mind. Each entry becomes a small experiment in awareness, helping refine beliefs, visualize future actions, and align behavior with deeper intentions. Clarity, curiosity, discipline, and thoughtful self-direction over time through reflection and deliberate mental practice every single day. Over weeks and months, these practices begin interacting like parts of a larger system. Mindfulness stabilizes attention. Reflection reveals patterns. Visualization guides direction. Gratitude and self-compassion maintain emotional balance. Together, they create a mental environment where the brain can upgrade its own operating style. Instead of reacting to life, you participate consciously in shaping how your mind perceives and responds, building clarity, resilience, creativity, patience, and intentional decision-making across daily experiences. with steady awareness and growth. Eventually, something subtle but powerful happens. The distance between who you are and who you imagine becoming begins shrinking. Thoughts align more easily with values. Actions follow intention with less friction. This is the quiet evidence of brain optimization in progress. Neural pathways supporting clarity, focus, and emotional balance have been strengthened through repeated conscious practice, shaping perception behavior, learning creativity, and resilient attention across changing situations with growing stability, insight, patience, and calm confidence each day. In the end, rebuilding yourself from the inside is less about dramatic transformation and more about steady awareness. The brain listens closely to the images, reflections, and emotions repeated each day. When those signals point toward clarity, compassion, and possibility, the mind gradually reorganizes around them. Step by step, you upgrade the system through which you experience life, expanding curiosity, gratitude, presence, focus, creativity, and purposeful direction across your unfolding human potential with patience, wonder, and intention.